Yarr, mateys! Hoist the mizzenmast! We be heading for pirate adventures! Yarr! Yeah. That means play the intro. Now. God damn it. Hey everybody, Sexy Man the Pharaoh Wizard here. It's time to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead men probably don't tell any tales usually. Let's get into it. So cards on the table, full disclosure, I love the Pirates movies. All of them, they're great fun. I have a lot of fun with them. I'm a pirate fan, yarg. And so yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So as this is a franchise film, time to talk about the hierarchy of the current movies in that franchise. So let's hit it up. So best Pirates movie, in my humble opinion, of course, is Curse of the Black Pearl, the first one. The huge surprise that a movie based on a theme park ride would have been so good, and it was a lot of fun, and it pretty much shifted Johnny Depp's career from then on. Next under that, the second one, Dead Man's Chest. I like the design of the damned crew, the barnacles and how they're, kind of also fish creatures is pretty cool. And the adventure was pretty fun, so like that one. Next up, the fourth movie, On Stranger Tides, is my third favorite. It's after the third one got really convoluted, this one got back to more of just a pirating adventure. With some fun characters, and I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And of course at the bottom, and I think it's most people's bottom Pirates movie, At World's End. It got really convoluted. It turned every little nod and wink, little joke into like a plot point, and it just was too much, and it pushed our suspension of disbelief too far. So where does Dead Men Tell No Tales fall on this list? Let's talk about it. So Pirates 5 is brought to us from Norwegian directing duo Joachim Ronnin and Espen Sandberg, which I probably just butchered both of those, but they're known for directing Bandolitas and a couple episodes of Marco Polo. So alright. The plot of this movie, without getting into too many spoilers, is basically it's an adventure to find Neptune's trident. That's it. That's it. There's a lot going on, but non-spoiler, straight up plot, that's the plot. So let's talk about the characters that we have. And let's start with some returning characters. So of course we have the marquee, top of the line, face of the franchise, Captain Jack Sparrow. It's played by Johnny Depp. Pretty much the same as you would see him in the other Pirates movies. We do find him at the beginning of this movie down and out on his luck, kind of due to the events of the previous movie, and struggling to keep a crew together. So it's kind of fun to see him kind of like losing his luck because he kind of got by on straight luck every time. That's pretty much him. It's pretty much the same kind of Jack Sparrow, but he's still a lot of fun. We got the murderous Captain Barbossa, played by Geoffrey Rush, who is my favorite part of all these movies. He has so much fun with this. So due to the events of the previous movie, once again, he finds himself as captain of Queen's Anne Revenge, which is such a powerful ship that he's actually created a fleet, and he's kind of the main pirate lord of the world. And yeah, Geoffrey Rush is still great. He reminds me of a cosplayer who's super into the role because he's just so into being a pirate. He's always messing the messes and and just doing his pirate talk, and looks like he has a lot of fun with the role. I love Geoffrey Rush in these movies. He has always been my favorite part. But yeah, he was fantastic. And of course, we have Gibbs, once again played by Kevin McNally. He's Gibbs. He doesn't really. He serves his purpose of explaining plot points to us, and that's about it. Does that in this movie, but still enjoyable. And he's still right. So we have some new people joining us on our adventure. First, we got Henry Turner, played by Brenton Thwaites from Oculus. And so if you realize the name Henry Turner and recognize that, it probably tells you a lot right there. Won't go too much if you don't. So basically, he knows where the Triton is and gets Jack and his crew together to help him find Neptune's trident. And that's kind of what he is. He's also kind of the stand-in for William Turner, Orlando Bloom's character, or the priest in On Stranger Tides. They always have like a young couple that's not sort of the main character, but not really. But there's like a young couple. So he's part of that. The other half of that young couple is Karen Smith, played by Kayla Scudero from Maze Runner. So she, again, is that other half of that young couple that we got to have in the Pirates movies. She is a scientist who's trying to, kind of wrap her mind around all the crazy stuff that happens in these movies. All the like witchcraft and curses and things. So that was kind of fun to have science kind of be into this as well. I like that. She was a great addition to this cast. I really like what she did. She is a very charismatic actress. She was very enjoyable. I like what she did. I can't talk terribly about her because she's spoiler heavy as well. But I liked her. She did a good job. And then probably one of my favorite parts of this movie, Captain Salazar, played by Javier Bardem. Awesome. So first off, I love the effect they do on him, how it still looks like he's floating underwater, even though he's on land. I love that. He is having a great time with this. He is so determined. He's really set on having his revenge on Captain Jack Sparrow, as most people do. And he's just so intimidating and so driven. I really like what he does. There's a line that's in the trailers, but it hits so heavy in the movie, where he's like, "People? No! Pirates!" And it works so well, and I was worried that they ruined that within the trailer, but no. In context in the movie, it's so good, and he is a great villain. I'd say, I would roughly say he might be the best villain. It's hard to say because Barbossa, my favorite part of all these movies, was pretty much the villain in the first movie. So, I don't know. He's right up there with Barbossa, though. I really liked Captain Salazar. He was awesome. I really enjoyed what he did. So what worked well about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales? So I have to say, as a continuity stickler as myself, I applaud these movies for keeping such close continuity, especially since the last two have had a wide berth from when they came out. And this one is actually 6 years after On Stranger Tides came out, but they still kept plot points and continuity. The Pearl is still in a glass bottle. Barbossa is captain of the Queen's Anne Revenge. Like, they kept some continuity. There's some plot points that deal with stuff from the original 3 movies. It really fits, and I just applaud them for doing that. Because a lot of movies, if they have a big gap between years of these coming out, a lot of the continuity is dropped. Not a lot is really carried over. It's just, they kind of just do a new story. But this one kept going. Like, if you were to go 10 years from now and watch these all as one marathon, it would fit and it would make sense and be a full movie. So I definitely applaud them for that. The other part, which I sort of mentioned when I was talking about Captain Salazar, is the effects on this are really cool. I really like what they did with the ghosts. A lot of the sets look awesome. There's some really cool CG effects with the water and what's going on there. I really like that. I think the effects look fantastic. I personally didn't think the Johnny Depp de-aging was too bad. It looked pretty good. It maybe wasn't quite up to Marvel standards, but it was still pretty good. And then the biggest plus for this movie is it is so much fun. It is a pirating adventure. Like, if you go into this wanting some fun pirating adventures, you are going to be, rewarded. It is a lot of fun. It's like going into Fast and the Furious expecting ridiculous action. They deliver that. This delivers a fun pirating adventure, and I just had a lot of fun with it. All the cast looks like they're having a lot of fun. It's just overall just a fun movie, and I definitely like that. On top of the fun, they add in some emotions, and of course, the comedy. And all of that works really well. These are really known for their comedic moments, and those all land really well. And for the first time, the emotional parts really land. They tried to do that in previous movies, but they didn't quite hit. I feel like this one, the emotional times that they have really hits, and it's done very well, and again, very awesome. That all worked really well. But no movie is perfect, so where does this movie fall short? So even though I just praised it for its continuity, each movie's had an end of credits stinger, and they follow up on that in every subsequent movie, even if it's just like a line or something goofy, but they do follow up on that stinger. The stinger at the end of On Stranger Tides was Penelope Cruz finding the voodoo doll of Jack Sparrow. They don't do anything with that. So that was the disappointing part. They should have, obviously they didn't get Penelope Cruz to come back, but that felt a little short. Even with so much great continuity that they did with this, it felt like they just missed that one moment. Not a huge takeaway, but it is something I noticed and was negative. The other part is this is a basic pirating movie. So for me, that is fine, but I can see how a lot of people would just be like, well, it's more of the same. Yeah, it is. If you're not into a fun pirating adventure, you're not going to get anything here. You have to go in just wanting that. If you're expecting like Shakespeare or, V for Vendetta or like this great epic life-changing movie, no. But it's pirates. You just have a lot of fun with it. And I love pirates as a general concept, so I had a lot of fun with it. But I can see how people would have some problems of it just being basically same as the previous movies. It's just more of the same. They don't do anything really new or different with the idea of pirates. It's just the same thing. So there's that. My biggest complaint, though, overall, is it had some scenes that went way too long. There's one at the end, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It just goes forever. Like, holy crap, we're still going with this? Jesus. And there's a few more like big action scenes that seem to just drag on forever. And I think just cutting some of those down would have helped. But yeah, it really dragged the movie a little bit to have these long scenes that just keep going and going and going. So that was definitely the biggest negative in my opinion. But now it's time to get to some spoilers. So spoiler time. Let's throw up some spoiler signs and jump to this time code if you want to skip spoilers, because I'm doing some spoilers now. You ready? Spoilers. So we have the return of Orlando Bloom's Will Turner as well as Keira Knightley's Elizabeth Swann, and that was great. They were just cameos, but they were fantastic. I love what they did with them, and it's really cool because At World's End was 10 years ago, and the in-continuity rule when Will Turner took over for Davy Jones is he could only set foot on land every 10 years. So it was really cool that this movie's 10 years later and they follow up on that and they actually get Orlando Bloom to come back and do some stuff. I really like that. Again, just great nod to continuity there. And obviously, if you noticed, Henry Turner is the son of Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. Or is she Elizabeth Turner now? I don't know. But they follow up on that thread from the third movie, and I like that. And I like that there's even a movie in between it, so you can kind of, fold it into other things, and, there's lots of adventures going on. I really like that. That was a lot of fun. Now, this might be the end of the series. I don't know. Because basically, the Trident was basically got rid of all curses on the seas, which basically is this movie. And to me, it feels like that should have gotten rid of all the supernatural things that have happened, and now we're just in the real world. And so I don't know how they would continue on from that, but that's what I took away from them using the Trident and destroying it, is that it got rid of all the curses, so now we're in the real world. And, it could be the end of the series. Of course, researching this movie, they have a proposed Pirate 6. No specific name or release date, but there is a proposed Pirate 6, so maybe they'll continue it on somehow. But if they ended the series here, that'd be pretty good. But yeah, so it might be the end of the series, it might not. I don't know. I definitely know they're in a wait and see thing if it makes money back, or what the interest is in another Pirates movie, but that's the thing. And the big ending death of Captain Barbossa. Oh man, that was hard. It was done really well. I know he died in the first movie and already come back, so maybe this is superfluous, but I don't know, it felt like a big deal to me, and they did it well. They used the character death well. He is actually the father of Karina Smith, the other girl in this, and they really follow up on that, and they do some really cool stuff with that, and I just really feel like they treated his death very properly, and it's done very well, so thumbs up on that, but a bummer that Barbossa is dead. And the final spoiler I'd like to get into real quick is the end of credit stinger is confusing. So it has Will and Elizabeth in bed, and Davy Jones comes in, and then Will wakes up and it's just a dream. But then there's barnacles on the floor. Was it a dream? But Davy Jones is super dead. What's going on there? I don't know. Maybe the Triton didn't get rid of curses. I don't know. It's very confusing. I don't know. If they follow up on it, I'll be excited. If this ends the series, I'll be like, but that's a thing. So let's wrap this thing up. Time for me to give my final answer if you like this. So, in the end, this was a great pirating adventure. I had a lot of fun with it. Again, going in, having fun. You'll enjoy it. If you want something different, you're not going to like it. Which kind of goes into my final stance on this is, if you're a fan of the Pirates movies, definitely see this in theaters. It's a great addition to this franchise. Probably better than the last two movies. Maybe even better than... It might be up there with the first movie. It's a lot of fun and done very well. But if the Pirates movies have not sold you on this idea, I don't think this one will sell you on the idea, but it's still worth a rental. So if you're not really a fan, you should still check it out. Give it a fair shake, because it is a great adventure and a lot of fun. But, if you're not sold on the other ones, you're not going to get sold on this. So that's where I'm at. If you're a fan, see it in theaters. If you're not a fan, definitely rent it and give it a shot. But I really love this movie. It was a lot of fun, and it was great. I enjoyed it a lot. So, me be Captain Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. Until next time, hold on to your booty. Yarr.